Hello and welcome to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here today is Linda Marks. Linda, how are you?
I'm good, and I'm grateful to be here.
It's our pleasure to have you here today. So why don't you start by telling everyone a little bit about you?
I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm known for writing from the heart to the heart. My music crosses lots of different genres. I find my home in contemporary folk, but there's a little bit of jazz, a little bit of gospel, a little bit of R&B, a little bit of Broadway now and then, lots of jazz. And I find writing music is a way to build bridges between people. In the folk world, we often address what's going on in the world. So I write a lot about what's going on in the world and in the worlds of the people I know. So music provides a real way to touch the heart, to bridge the heart, to heal the heart. And it's a real joy to create.
Wonderful, wonderful. So if you could do a duet or a collaboration with any singer in the world, Linda, who would you choose and why? I could see that
Boy,
rolling eyes there.
yeah, I mean that's quite an interesting kind of question because there are local people that I enjoy collaborating with, but anyone in the world. I think I would really enjoy doing a collaboration with Lady Gaga. She's quite
That's a
an
new one.
extraordinary musician and she covers lots of different territories and genres. And I think she'd be a lot of fun and very spirited to cover with. So,
Now that's a new one. That's a really good one. That's a new one I've never heard before, but also really good and wise choice, I think, Linda, for sure.
yeah. So that's, yeah, I mean, I can name lots of people for lots of reasons. I mean, actually, because I'm a piano playing singer
Mhm.
songwriter with curly blonde hair, I often get likened to Carole King when I'm at the piano. So I
Mhm.
should probably collaborate with her just in principle, and also with James Taylor, because many years ago, a musical colleague of mine photoshopped a picture of Carole King's hair onto my face with
Oh my
James
god.
Taylor. And when it was posted, people were asking, how did I get the gig with James Taylor? So I should probably do that just for the photo opportunity to give to my colleague.
Oh, that's awesome. That's funny. Oh, that's awesome. So, do you have any upcoming singles or any upcoming projects you want to share with us?
Sure. I mean, I'm going to share an album that just came out June 1st. This is
Mhm.
Kindness, and it's on the folk charts right now. And actually, I think I also have Home here. Home came out January 1st and charted at number 18 on the global folk charts. I'm very proud of that. But I have an album that will be coming out on January 1st, 2023 called Everyday Legends that I'm particularly excited about. The songs are pretty amazing on that album, and I have a feeling it will probably be the highest charting album that I've done. And right now, it's been sent off to Eric Balke at Hudson Harding Music and Glenn Barrett at Morningstar Studios to do the mixing and the mastering. Glenn is a double Grammy winning sound engineer, and I'm really grateful to have him take my music that I've put together and recorded and edited with Doug Hammer, my wonderful local sound engineer, and then have them take it to the next level. So Everyday Legends will be coming out January 1st, and it's very possible that a single or two from that album may be released ahead of the album. There's a song called Let There Be Love that I co-wrote with New York lyricist Mike Greenley that we released on May 1st ahead of the album, but the title song Everyday Legends may very well be released. And there's a song that I wrote after Ivaldi called Our Children's Prayer that I may release as a single ahead of the album as well.
That is just wonderful news. I had a chance to listen to some of your stuff, including the CDs I have over there on the side there that you sent me the other day. And I absolutely loved it. Your music's great. You have such a
Thank you.
great voice.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
You are most welcome. Very, very welcome. So, do you have any advice to those who might want to start singing but doesn't really know how to get their foot in the door? Singing, performing, anything like that?
Well, I think the first thing I would say, because this is very much where I come from, is listen to your heart and follow your heart. If you really love something, it's really important that you do it. And the music world is so complicated. I mean, I basically have had two careers as a professional musician. My first started when I was very, very young, and my first album came out when I was very, very young. And then I had a couple decades in what I call under the undertow of life. I raised my 26-year-old son as a single mom with no child support. I had a mom with Alzheimer's. So when she died 8 years ago, that's when I could really fully focus. But when my son was 12, that's when I started creeping back in, because when something is really lighting you up inside, it's very hard not to do it. But I'd basically say find places where you'll get heard, where you can get feedback, supportive, kind feedback. It's really helpful to have a vocal coach for good vocal habits and hygiene. It's just like all professional athletes have a personal trainer of some sort, or many, like on the Red Sox or the Celtics, they have a whole team of trainers. But
Mhm.
it's really good to have people like that in your court just to help you take care of your voice. And that's, I found that that's particularly important. I got early COVID in November of 2019 and lost my voice for 2 months. And I did get it back, but it's a lot weaker. So I've been working with actually a college friend who's one of the most wonderful vocal coaches around for vocal hygiene, just to take good care of my voice. So that's one thing I'd say. If you want to write, just start making notes. And if something touches you or inspires you, just make a few notes. And sometimes some good ideas will turn into lyrics. And if a tune comes into your head, take your iPhone and hum into it, because that's a really good way to capture an idea. But basically, just open yourself up to the creative process for writing both music and lyrics, and just see what you come up with. And for performing, open mics are a really, really good place for people to start out. They're safe. There are tons of them online and in person. You'll meet other musicians. You'll have a sense of community. So those are probably what I'd say is starting points.
I agree. And once you get into it, and have that support behind you, I think it's super, you're going to do fine. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I think a really key piece is none of us can do anything all alone.
hmm
Just like there's the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village
hmm
to do almost anything. And
hmm
when there's community and you have supportive people around you, it makes a huge difference. And then you can lift up your wings and start to fly.
I agree. I agree. So, where do you see you and your music in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you have a goal set for yourself, Linda?
Well, I'd love to win a Grammy. That's one
There you
of the
go.
goals. And one of the things I'm incredibly grateful for is I was just invited to be a member of the class of 2022 in the Recording Academy. So I
Oh,
am
wow.
now a Grammy delegate myself. And I plan to be submitting my home album for
hmm
consideration for a Grammy, because now I can, which is
hmm
wonderful. But I want to just keep writing songs that touch people, that are really, really good representatives of our time. And
hmm
a huge piece, besides like, winning awards. Actually, I just won an award. I won the Global Songwriters Award for a song I wrote called I Can Only Imagine, that's going to be on my brand new Everyday Legends album. It's an international competition. So because I was from the United States, I got best in world music, which is funny for people in the United States. But when you're not from the United States is world music. But I was very grateful to win that Best Song Award. But those kinds of things are fine enough, but I really like to use music to make a difference. I've always built community through music, and I run this artist alliance group called Women in Music Gathering. That's a
Okay.
place that supports women personally and professionally. So I would love to have the opportunity to write songs for really good nonprofits that help touch people, that help support the mission. I saw a movie over the weekend called Safety, and there was an extraordinary story of a young football player whose brother ended up being left into the foster care system because his mom was a drug addict. And so he ended up actually getting custody of his brother when he was an 18-year-old college freshman, trying to both be in the NCAA football and get good grades to keep his scholarship both ways. And it was an inspiring story. And I'm about to reach out to him and see if he'd like a song for his nonprofit. But those kinds of things really
hmm
move me. And the other thing is bringing musicians together to collaborate. I've just put a new show together with two wonderful
Okay.
musical colleagues, Kemp Harris and Willie Sordillo. So in terms of who are people I want to collaborate with locally, they're two people.
hmm
They're fantastic musicians in their own right. And the show is called Songs at the Heart of Our Times. All three of us write and perform songs that touch on issues that are on people's minds, and whether it's gun
Hmm.
violence, whether it's 3 years of pandemic living, whether it's what's happening to our children, whether it's racism, whether it's Roe versus Wade. There's so many issues that really weigh on people, and we all write songs to try to help people connect and heal and build community. So we have a wonderful show, and we're actually taking it to some churches as special events, because that's a way to really go right into the community and make a
Hmm.
difference. So projects like that are things that really give me a lot of juice. And I'd love to have an opportunity to write songs for lots of nonprofits. I've written some for a number. There's a project called the Cotta Blue Project that Diane Cameron Elam founded. She's from Atlanta, honoring the unsung musicians of the Delta Blues. And I had the privilege of writing a song called Unstrummed to go with her book and to support her Cotta Blue Project. I wrote a song for the global Light Up the Love movement. I've written songs for animal shelters, for an organization called Upstage Lung Cancer. So whenever I can lend a song to support a message in a cause, I will do that.
And I think that's super important too, because if the music is a strong part of our society, so I think it will even help better to bring a message together if people hear it in a song.
Absolutely. There's a song I wrote that's on my Kindness album. It's actually the first song on this album. It's called Be
Mhm.
the Light, and it was inspired by Amanda Gorman's inaugural poem, where she talked about not just seeing the light, but being the
Mhm.
light. And many have called it an anthem for humanity. And one day, when it's safe enough with this crazy surging
Mhm.
pandemic up and down, I would like to get a group of people of all different ages together, all different backgrounds, to sing that song together, because I think the visual of everything from small children to older people of all different backgrounds, different shapes and sizes, together singing Be the Light, keep the flame of peace still burning in the heart, humanity.
Mhm.
That message and that image would be incredibly powerful.
Sure would be. So, do you have a message to those who might be listening, watching this, or any of your fans, Linda?
Just, we're living in really hard times. I hear it because I have a second life as a mind body psychotherapist. So I hear people giving me their deeper, innermost experiences, and it's a privilege to do that. And I would just say, keep looking at your vision of what's possible. Even when times are tough, there's always room for vision. And if we can create a vision of the way we'd like the world to be and start translating that even into simple steps for our own self-care, the care of our loved ones, and ways to make a difference in our community, we can make things better. So that would be the message I would give to everybody.
Fantastic. And where can people find you on social media if they want to keep up with what you're up to?
Sure, I'm everywhere. I have a website, lindamarksmusic.com. My YouTube channel is LSMHEART, so it's LSM Heart, and I put all kinds of fresh content out, including right when I write songs, as well as more polished things like studio videos and lyric videos. I'm on Facebook as Linda Marks Music, on Twitter and Instagram as LSM Heart. I'm on every digital platform. I have 12 studio albums that are out there, but the one I did when I was like 21 years old, that one isn't out because it used a different medium. But
Mhm.
I've put out 11 albums in the last 10 years, and they're all available on every digital platform.
Fantastic. And is there anything that I forgot to mention that you would like to mention today, Linda?
I think you've covered the ground pretty well. So I really appreciate that.
You're most welcome. And again, I would like to thank Linda Marks for taking the time to come on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, and talk with us today. We had a pleasure getting to know you a little bit.
Thank you so much. And thank you for what you're doing, sharing music and sharing musicians.